Welcome in, guys, to the BenchWarmers podcast. I'm Noah Castor. To my right, we have Brandon Hudson, and across the table we have my man Darren Kinslow. We have some new videos up on the channel. We got the Eagles playoff hype video, and we have the Patriots playoff hype video that's reached over, 700 views? So if you're interested in those, please go check that out. Shout out to Superflash Ryan SFR for liking the Eagles video. And we're just going to get right into it. We're going to be discussing the NFC side of things today. How are you guys doing so far? You guys doing good?
Pretty good.
Doing good. All right. We're going to hop right into the first matchup, which we'll be discussing the Cowboys and the Rams. I'm going to let somebody else start it off. Darren, you want to go ahead and start it off?
Yeah, sure. Caught me off guard.
I know. I'm sorry.
This was a tough matchup for me because I think the Rams throughout the regular season were a little bit overrated. Their defense struggled. The offense is definitely, I think that's probably second to the Chiefs. Todd Gurley and all their receivers, and even the defense does have some playmakers. But the Cowboys, they've looked good too, coming off that win against Seattle. And also the Rams having home field, I don't think it's going to play into effect at all. I think it'll honestly favor the Cowboys. I think Dallas is going to show up. So this, I think, could go either way, honestly. But I have the Rams winning this one in a very close game. Just the run game and their offensive weapons. I think if the Cowboys are going to win this game, they're going to win it by running with Zeke, controlling the clock. But eventually, Dak Prescott's going to have to make some throws to keep up with the Rams' offense. Definitely. And that's where I think he's going to fail. Now, if he does come up big and play well and make good throws, then I could see Dallas winning this too. But I don't see him doing that, and that's why I've got LA.
Definitely. Speaking of that home field advantage, I remember watching the Green Bay Packers and the Rams play, and Aaron Rodgers at the Rams Stadium is on the sideline hyping up the crowd because there's just so many more Packers fans there, and there's going to be even more Cowboys fans there. Definitely. Cowboys just nationwide is just America's team, so there's going to be probably 70-30 or 60-40 Cowboys fans there. So not much of a home field advantage. Brandon, what do you got on the matchup?
I've got the Cowboys winning, or not winning, but keeping it close, but I have the Rams winning, actually.
Okay.
But I have the Cowboys very close because of the fact that if Ezekiel Elliott has over 20 carries in a game, they are 22-0 now. After last week, they beat the Seattle Seahawks, and he had 26 carries for that one. So if the Cowboys end up finding a way to get Zeke that ball 20 more times, and he ends up getting those yards, I think they'll keep it very close and maybe even have a chance to win it. But I'm going to pick LA on this one.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that Seattle's defense is much better equipped against the run than the Rams is, so you can only imagine what Ezekiel Elliott's going to do to a worse run defense compared to what he did to Seattle. But I agree with Darren. I know I didn't pick the Cowboys last week because I thought Russell Wilson was going to do his thing, but Pete Carroll really limited him in the run game. He ran the ball so much that Russell Wilson didn't really get an opportunity. I just believe that Dak Prescott, when it comes to making big throws inside the pocket, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. He's going to have to against a Rams offense that really has not been stopped basically all year. They're a very good offense all around, and I feel like Jared Goff is more equipped with the weapons to make plays. I mean, prayers up to Allen Hurns, that gruesome injury. That's going to be a big loss for them. He's a big wide receiver in that offense, even though, I mean, he really isn't, but there's not many playmakers there besides Amari Cooper. You got Cole Beasley, and then that's about it. So I just don't see the Cowboys keeping up with the Rams offense. Now, if the Cowboys defense plays like they did against the Saints, remember that upset? If they just shut the Rams down, then the Cowboys have a very good chance of winning this because of what they're able to do to really control the clock with Ezekiel Elliott.
And I'd like to know who is going to be guarding Amari Cooper. Is it going to be Akeem Talib or is it going to be Marcus Peters? Because if it's Marcus Peters, people think he's good, but if you notice, he's not good on the deep ball. When they throw a deep ball, and Amari Cooper knows how to burn people. He will burn Marcus Peters and get that touchdown they need for wide receivers.
Definitely, if I'm the Rams defensive coordinator, I want Talib on Amari Cooper.
But if I'm telling you, if Marcus Peters ends up having to guard Amari Cooper, it's not gonna look good. I don't think
it's gonna be up to Dak Prescott to hit him open.
I was just about to say I think this game's all up to Dak Prescott.
That's right. Yep. And honestly, if Dak Prescott wins this game, I'm gonna change my opinion of Dak Prescott because I've always harped on the guy. I know he's a late round pick. I never really believed in him. I thought he was a game manager. I thought he looked more like Alex Smith than he did an elite quarterback. And if he wins this game, this is a huge game, and they're underdogs by like almost a touchdown, so it's going to be huge if he wins this. But if I'm going to change my opinion, I need to see Dak Prescott make an impact. I don't want to see Ezekiel Elliott win the game. I don't want to see the defense win the game. I want to see Dak Prescott winning the game. And I know people will say, oh, he scored that late touchdown with his legs. Like, I mean, yeah, I get that, but he's a quarterback. I want to see him throwing the football and making big plays when it matters, and this is when it matters right here.
I saw a thing the other day where he leads the league in fourth quarter comebacks over the last, 2, 3, whatever it was, 2, 3 years. But the thing with that is they're already down. So if they're already down, obviously he's going to have more fourth quarter comebacks. So it's kind of it's a good accomplishment. But at the same time,
but the elite quarterbacks like Tom Brady and
Aaron
Aaron Rodgers, they're not down.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady doesn't get down. Aaron Rodgers really doesn't get down. I mean, it's great you're leading your team back, but I mean, should you really be down in the first place with that great defense and Ezekiel Elliott? Should you really be down? So I mean, I harp on the Cowboys so much. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but if the Cowboys win, I'm gonna have to change my opinion. And if they win this game, I think they have a good chance of going all the way.
Yeah.
With that defense and that running game, and this year's been big, hitting Ezekiel Elliott on the passing game. Mm-hmm. Previously, they didn't really target him, but hitting him in the passing game is going to be huge. Also, what's going to be huge is Todd Gurley fully healthy? I know he was banged up a little bit, and he got some extra rest. Just hoping.
The Cowboys are fifth in rushing defense. So
yeah, it's definitely going to be huge. That's all I have on that matchup. Brandon, do you have anything else?
I did want to say something. So going back to what you were saying about Dak Prescott,
mm-hmm.
he's good on his feet.
Definitely.
I'd consider him as more of like a scramble kind of quarterback instead of in the pocket.
Definitely.
And so what I've noticed with all these people like Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell Trubisky, all these scrambling quarterbacks, one thing they lack is they're scared to throw the ball. You can tell it in the playoffs-wise, I should say, because you could see, Lamar Jackson was not comfortable throwing that ball.
Yep.
That whole game, he was not comfortable. Then you have Deshaun Watson. He had some plays where he wanted to throw the ball deep. He had some plays where he wanted to throw the ball short and find his receivers, and he did that occasionally. But one thing Dak Prescott will have to do is, and what I'd like to do, like you said, is I'd like to see him throw the ball, be comfortable in this game. And just because it's the Rams does not mean you cannot beat them. You can definitely beat them. Just take your time and play the game.
And this, you don't know what Rams offense you're going to see. Are you going to see the Rams offense that ran up the score against the Chiefs and put up 50 points and beat them? Or are you going to see the Rams offense that, of course, went up against the Chicago Bears, and I know they're the best defense, but really just kind of lay the goose egg, not a literal goose egg, but they looked horrible, and Jared Goff looked horrible. It's all going to depend on what Dak Prescott we're going to see and what Jared Goff we're going to see.
I'm interested to see, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I'm interested to see this week as more touchdowns. I want to see more touchdowns this week.
I know. These
last week was
slow.
Last week was almost all field goals in every game. Literally, the whole game throughout the Chargers and Ravens game. That was basically almost all field goals that whole game. I thought it was going to go all field goals.
Yep.
Then you had the Bears and Eagles. They had quite a bit of field goals in that one.
Yep.
But all these aren't all field goals, but most of them were field goals to start the game out. Then you had the Cowboys and Seahawks. They had all field goals. So I'm interested to see some actual touchdowns this game and actually see some high-scoring games.
Definitely.
Because those were all low-scoring games, all because of the fact they had too many field goals.
Which helps the Rams. Doesn't help the Cowboys because they're not a high-scoring offense. There's a reason his nickname is Dink and Dunk Dak.
Yeah.
He doesn't throw the ball downfield, and he's going to have to do that. We've seen him do it this season, but he's going to have to do it more against that Rams to keep up with that Rams offense. And yes, the Rams offense is lacking Cooper Kupp that they lost at the beginning of the season. And yeah, they haven't been the same since. But I just feel like that Rams offense is too powerful to really be hindered by the performance of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I think their defense is capable of stopping the Rams. I just don't think the offense for Dallas, I don't think they can keep up in points.
Definitely.
That's where, yeah.
Definitely, but we'll see. This is a huge game for Dak Prescott, and it's also a huge game for Jared Goff. Like, if you lose to Dak Prescott, like, that's not going to look good, especially with how stacked your roster is. So we're going to have to see.
I'm definitely going to be pulling for... I want the I know the Rams are going to win. I feel like is what my feeling is, but I definitely am kind of cheering for the Cowboys on this one, trying to see what they can do.
You want to see Dak Prescott do well because he gets harped on all the time. Everyone does not like Dak Prescott.
For this game, in my opinion, it's just the fact that I feel like the Rams are going to end up winning because they're the better team. They got a bye week and everything, but it's one of those things where I want like the Cowboys to actually do something and see what they can do.
Yeah, and if Dak Prescott throws 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards and they still lose, props to Dak Prescott. I'll change my opinion on Dak Prescott if they lose, and he plays extremely well because, throughout the whole season, that defense has carried him and Ezekiel has carried him.
Yep.
All right, are we good to move into the next matchup?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Whoo! Now, I can't forget. I forget. So it's Bears against Saints, right? Oh, no, wait. No. Who's it against? I forgot. It's Eagles against Saints. That's right. Oh, look who was right. All right.
Hold on. You were right on the Eagles, but you weren't right.
You're really going to hinder on the 4. Okay, yes. I was
4 touchdowns.
Not even close.
The 4 touchdowns. He halfway. He was halfway.
With 2 picks, too. I mean.
Nick Foles got it done. When the time mattered, he got it done. But
I'll give him that.
We're not here to talk about Nick Foles right now just yet. Saints and Eagles. Darren, who do you got?
I hate picking against Nick Foles because every time I do, it goes the other way. So I think it could be a close game, but I have the Saints. They've got the weapons on offense to burn that secondary. The defense, I think, is more than capable of holding the Eagles back a little bit. I think this is going to be a lot more high scoring than the last game. But I think the Saints, their weapons outnumber the Eagles' defense. I think they'll be able to run the ball too, and throw it against that weak secondary. So I've got the Saints. But again, I could see it happening. I mean, I've seen Nick Foles do what he does. So this should be a good game. But yeah, my feeling goes towards the Saints.
All right, Brandon, what do you got?
I've got the Saints on this one as well. I think with Alvin Kamara, you got Drew Brees. Drew Brees has been to the playoffs so many times in his career, and he knows what he's doing. He's got the experience. Nick Foles has a little bit of experience too, but this will definitely be a good game. And, I think the Saints are definitely going to win this one. The Eagles will keep it close, though, I will say, after seeing last week. But definitely going to need to see something out of Nick Foles in this game.
That's right.
Oh, boy, here we go.
All right, everybody's dying to hear what Noah's got to say. All right. Now, last week I picked with my heart. I picked Nick Foles because I believed in him. All right? This week I'm looking at the facts. All right? The facts. Drew Brees and Sean Payton are undefeated at home in the playoffs. That place has some magic to it. All right? That dome does have some magic to it. They got Michael Thomas, possibly a top 5 receiver in the NFL. They've got pass rushers and Cameron Jordan. He's going to be big in that game. They've got corners and Marshawn Lattimore. He's going to be big in that game. Eli Apple, too. He's come on. He's playing good. Off the ball, he plays better. They got Mark Ingram. They've got Alvin Kamara. That's a high-powered offense. And yet, I'm going with the Eagles. I'm riding with Nick Foles. Now, let me just paint a picture for you. Against the best defense in the NFL, here's what he did on his last drive. 12 plays, 80 yards for a touchdown in the Eagles' last drive. You know what the Eagles' offensive line did to Khalil Mack? When did you hear Khalil Mack's name in that game? The only time you heard it is when they were asking, where the heck is Khalil Mack? He did nothing. Let me just...
I will say he did nothing.
Let me just break it down. They've faced these 3 players in their 4-game win streak. Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, and Khalil Mack. Guess how many sacks all 3 of those guys have combined? 0. That offensive line is protecting Nick Foles like it is his child. Because it is. Listen, Carson Wentz is the better quarterback. I think we can all agree on that. He's the better talent. I know. But the Eagles play better with Nick Foles. They do, and there's a magic to it. I just find it so hard to pick against Nick Foles. And honestly, I think the Eagles have more weapons than the Saints do.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
On offense or
on offense?
Okay,
let's run down the set. Michael Thomas as a wide receiver. Yes, he's a weapon. What other wide receiver do they have?
They got their backup quarterback.
Their backup quarterback. Yeah, Taysom Hill. He's gonna just go off, isn't he? No. They have Michael Thomas, and that's it at receiver, which has really hurt them, honestly, which is why they rely so much on the run game. And that Eagles defensive line is no joke with Fletcher Cox, Michael Bennett. It's no joke. It's such a great defensive line, and they really contained Mitchell Trubisky very well against a running team. They contained him so well. And let me run down the Eagles list. They got Aguilar. They got Jeffrey. They got Ertz. He's got so many more weapons to throw to. I'm just saying.
I've got big faith in Drew Brees, though.
Drew Brees, you got... Okay, I will not be mad if Drew Brees beats the Eagles. Drew Brees is possibly a top 5 quarterback all time. He's a great quarterback.
And although he has... I will give you this. He doesn't have the weapons to throw to.
No.
But Michael Thomas. But also he's made it to this point with Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and all of them. And he's made it to this point.
And let's go back to November when they played the Eagles. It was
Who was the quarterback?
48-7.
Who was the quarterback?
It was Carson Wentz. But still, I mean, they completely got blown out.
It's a different team.
That's a whole different team.
It's a whole different team with Nick Foles. Tell me I'm wrong.
I will agree with some of that to some point, but when you get blown out 48-7,
a whole different team.
That has more to do with your defense than it does the offense. So
you're telling me you're not a little scared?
I will admit, if Nick Foles wins, I won't be as surprised as I was last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've seen him do it. I've picked against Nick Foles on a lot.
Hold on.
And he continues to prove me wrong. So
hold on. This is one thing I had to say too. You said so. J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, and Khalil Mack all had combined for 0 sacks.
0 sacks.
I know for a fact Nick Foles has been sacked throughout the season by no-name people. Not no-name people, but people that aren't like his big name.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, the Saints don't have any big names like J.J. Watt. They don't have Aaron Donald. They don't have Khalil Mack.
Nick Foles doesn't get sacked more than one time in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, their offensive line has played really good lately.
I will say that, yes, they have.
Not getting sacked more than one time in that game. Guaranteed. 100%. Put that on my mama. Straight up. Okay? Here's the thing. Nick Foles' 4 touchdowns against the Bears was a little crazy. All right? It was a little crazy. It was a little crazy. A little crazy. We're going to get crazier. Nick Foles is going to throw for more than 400 yards.
This guy.
And 4 touchdowns.
No, that's not
400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
That's not happening.
It's happening.
I will say that right
it's
now.
happening. 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he's
last week you were wrong.
And he's beating them.
You were right with the win.
I was right with the win. I was wrong with the touchdowns.
They really could have won. I mean,
400 yards and 4 touchdowns. To be fair, yes, the Bears could have won, but the Eagles kicked it to Tariq Cohen on kickoff. I don't know why you would do that. He had a huge return. Not sure why you would do that. I think the Eagles should have had him backed up to the 20 with kicking in the back of the end zone. So it's whatever. They missed the kick. The Eagles are in it. There's some magic to it. You got to admit. And guess what? 4th quarter, I'm taking Nick Foles over any other quarterback. And any other quarterback. 4th quarter, last drive, I'm taking Nick Foles over any other quarterback.
You're taking him.
Aaron Rodgers? No. I'm taking Nick Foles. I'm taking Nick Foles.
I'm just going to go ahead and just hope that we move on soon because
I don't know why you guys keep picking against this man. Why do you keep doing it?
I think the magic and everything.
It's what you said last week.
Right here.
You think it ends here?
The Saints are. I think the Saints are. They're a heavy favorite to win the entire NFC. The Eagles and Nick Foles.
Let's say the Eagles beat the Saints. Okay. Who do you got going to the Super Bowl? You got them going to the Super Bowl.
If they beat the Saints, I've got them going to the Super Bowl. I think This game here is huge because I think
Whoever
both
wins
these
this
teams could easily win.
Yeah, I agree. Whoever wins this, I think, is going to the Super Bowl. Definitely.
But I think the Saints. I think they have a better chance of blowing them out than the Eagles do actually winning.
That's disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
The Saints, they've been one of my main picks throughout almost the entire year. I cannot pick against the Saints.
He's just hoping and praying that this magic runs out. He's praying for it because he doesn't want to hop on the bandwagon. He doesn't want to do
I'm
it.
not going to hop on the bandwagon.
You know you want to.
It's
Brandon.
I'm not a bandwagon
You know
hyper.
you want to.
I'm not a bandwagon
Nick
hyper.
Foles.
I'm not hyping on him. Nope. I'm going to let the football do the magic and go ahead and
I don't know what you guys
see what
are
happens
on
this
right now. You guys are crazy. I think the Eagles have the better defense too.
I don't know. We'll
That
find out.
secondary stepped up against the Bears.
It's just the fact of can they keep stepping up?
Can they
That's
step
what we
up
got to
against
see.
Drew Brees
Yes.
and Michael Thomas?
I got to
Yeah.
see this
Double Michael Thomas and make him throw it anywhere else.
because
They're
the
gonna hand
defense,
the ball off and throw it out of the
the
back.
defense also saw Mitchell Trubisky last game. That's what I'm going to say.
Yes, I know Mitchell Trubisky's nowhere near Drew Brees. I'm
My
telling you
point.
that right now. But if I had to choose right now who I want going into a playoff game, Drew Brees, coming off of 2 bye weeks, he hasn't played since week 16. I want red hot Nick Foles or Drew Brees. I'm taking red hot Nick Foles.
This is just what I'm going to say. I'm going to end it at this. I'm not going to say any more because I really don't want to say any more right now.
Because you're
But
scared.
no, I'm not. I want to see the football do the talking. I want to see the football teams do the talking and actually see this game played. But against the Bears,
How'd
the
you do
Eagles.
on your picks last week, Brandon?
And I told you I'm gonna step it up this week, and that's why I'm going with the Saints right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eagles faced the Bears last week. They faced Mitchell Trubisky. I have no faith in that dude. I even told you last week. I don't have faith in him. I said he could probably do something. I mean, he's not going to do everything. He's not going to run the whole game. His defense has got to play a part in it. The defense did play a part in it, kept it close.
And I think he did his part there at the end. He got that team in the field
He
goal
did.
position.
He did. And they faced who? Who's Jordan Howard? Who the fuck?
Oh, don't.
Who's that guy?
Don't do that to Jordan Howard.
I have to. Like,
Disrespectful.
I had to. Like, he's not like
not an Alvin Kamara.
he's not an Alvin Kamara. He's not a Mark Ingram.
Oh, he is better than Mark Ingram. No,
I will probably say that
no.
because of the fact that Mark Ingram hasn't played that much this
Mark
season.
Ingram's a juicing old man. All right.
I will say. But Alvin Kamara, I mean, he can't.
Yes, Alvin Kamara.
He's not
is
over the top of
dynamic.
him.
I understand that. I really do.
And they'll probably play Alvin Kamara more than Mark Ingram
Oh
this game.
yes, they will. I know. Yeah, I know.
So he's gonna have a quarterback that's been here, done that. He knows what he's doing in the playoffs, and they have Alvin Kamara, which, I mean, you have to admit with me, the Bears did not have the run game that the Saints do.
No, they don't.
The Bears' offense is completely different
Yep.
than the Saints.
And that's where I see this being a big factor.
Yes, I understand.
Defensive wise, I mean, this could be a little shaky, but
Eagles.
I mean, I
Eagles,
see.
I can't say that. I don't know. if I
Defensive
can say
line
that.
is completely better than the Saints' defensive
Yeah, their
line.
defensive line, yeah.
And their secondary, they have Marshawn Lattimore on the Saints and Eli Apple. Yes, I get that. But other than that, it's really nobody. They got the guy that gave up that Stephon Diggs touchdown.
This is one that I actually think is gonna not be field goals.
Mm-hmm. All right.
This is not gonna be field goals. I will say
No, it's
that.
going to be Nick Foles throwing for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Here's
I'm gonna come back and say. I'm gonna come back and say next week. How is that 4 touchdowns, 400 yards? I know it's just gonna
Okay,
happen.
if he doesn't throw for 400 yards or
400 yards, like that's just crazy.
400 yards, he's done it before.
He has. I will admit, but I just like that's
He did
crazy.
it to your Texans.
He did. I mean, but we also still were in that game too. We lost
just
by like
saying,
what
man.
one point.
I'm just saying. And you know how hard it is to blow a team out and then come back and beat them again? You know how hard it is to get hyped up for a game like that? They beat them by like, what, 41? How are the Saints going to come in at all with any enthusiasm? Sean Payton did his best bringing them the Lombardi Trophy, but they're probably walking in there like, the Eagles? Beat them by 41. Guess what? Nick Foles wasn't a quarterback. Nick Foles wasn't a quarterback, was he?
Nah. That sorry excuse for a quarterback. Carson Wentz was that quarterback.
Sorry excuse.
Sorry excuse. All right, here's the thing, right? Nick Foles is a better fit for the offense because they dumb down the offense for Nick Foles. They simplify it, and I don't know why they don't do that for Carson Wentz. They simplify it.
Carson Wentz is
Supremely talented, just like Aaron Rodgers. We were talking about this before we started recording. He's just like Aaron Rodgers. He thinks his talent can do more than his brain can, and he doesn't want to think about the coverages, doesn't want to think about the blitzing. He's like, man, I got this arm, I got the legs, I'm going to make something happen. He makes stupid decisions. Trust me, as a Green Bay fan, I know that. Darren, do you have one last point?
Yeah, this is my last thing. I think this game realistically, I think this game's going to be close, but I just think that's the Saints, that entire team, offense and defense, has more weapons, and they're going to just simply outplay the Eagles. I don't think Nick Foles is just going to go in there and play horribly, but I also don't think he's going to go over there and just be over the top with 400 yards, and that's not going to happen. I think this is going to be a close game. I think it could be high scoring, and overall, I just think the Saints have more weapons. They just have the better team. Number 1 seed, home field advantage, 2 bye weeks for a lot of their starters. Saints win this game. That's all I got to say.
The Eagles.
We got to end this video.
The Eagles love hearing this. They love it. They love the underdog story. They love it.
We'll just have to see.
We'll have to see. All right. Any closing thoughts? Brandon's done. He's sick of my nonsense.
No, he's
Go
ready
Texans next season.
Go Texans next season.
We're ready for the AFC one.
I'm big time ready for that. Yep.
Yeah, we're hyped up for that one.
That's why I'm wearing this right now, because I don't want to hear this Eagles. I don't want to hear this Eagles stuff right now. Let's get over the Chiefs. Let's get over the AFC video.
Yep.
We're out.
Yeah, that ends it for that video.
Deuces.
Go Nick Foles.
Yeah, we're not even gonna take an ending or intro or outro. We're not doing that. Lights out.